Hi, my name is Lauren Demarath, and I'm a professor of sociology at Centenary College, and I'm also a father of a high school senior, and I'm going to give some advice on applications and affordability. Hope it helps anybody who listens to this. It's just my own take on it, having toured a lot of schools with my daughter and her mom and I, working on this. We've collected some data just for fun on different schools that you'll see here. That's just part of the spreadsheet. And so it's sort of a side sort of hobby. I've looked at how these schools differ from each other. Here you'll see these schools are ordered not with regard to how selective they are, but with how likely students are to enroll there. And so Brigham Young is second on that list, and Trinity Dublin is third, but Harvard is first, and that means if people get in, they're really likely to go there. In Brigham Young's case, because it's the best school for Mormons. In Trinity Dublin's case, because it's by far the best school in Ireland. In Harvard, it's because it's the best school, often seen as the best school in our country. But anyway, let me just go forward with the meat and potatoes here. One is where to apply to schools. I think one of my biggest sort of revelations in my touring these schools this year has been don't pay attention to price. That sticker that they have, the tuition, the sticker price, it's even more ignorable. You can ignore that even more than you would the price that you pay for a car. You know how you pay sort of less than the sticker price for a car, you get some sort of deal. Well, you almost always get some sort of deal. Well, you do always get some sort of deal on a college on tuition if you deserve it, if you can't afford to pay that much. So many schools say, especially the richer ones, the ones that have a lot of money, they say, we'll meet your demonstrated financial need. The amount of money that you need financially. You show us your books, you show us your taxes, the taxes that you submitted last year, we'll see. Okay, that's how much that's how much money you have or don't have. That's how much debt you have. We'll meet that. We want you. You're in, and we'll give you enough aid so that you can afford to come here. And that's free money that they often give you, not loans that you have to pay back. And we'll get to sort of loans in a second. Don't pay attention to ACT range necessarily. That's a ballpark for the students that generally apply. But here's the thing: when you look at books, you go to the bookstore, and like the big Fisk guide is a good one. Fisk is the name, but they've got the middle 50% of students that are enrolled. What are their ACT scores? So that means there's 25% below that lowest number that you see there. If there are reasons that you should be admitted, reasons that you'd be a good addition to their college, you're good in the classroom, you like to discuss things in the classroom, you're good in some sport or music, or you like to help out with student government, or you like to get involved in clubs and activities, you're a good person who wants to contribute to their campus community. If you offer some diversity, if you come from a different place, both geographically but also culturally, ethnically, racially, if you're not the typical run-of-the-mill student that they have, they want you more, and so they're willing to go outside that middle 50% range. You want to look at the ACT range as a sort of an indicator of where you might be able to fit in. But you can be below that 50% mark. But I would aim really to be at that lower score level. So if you're at that lower score level, yeah, you can apply, especially if you offer things that are diverse. If you're in the middle, yeah, absolutely. They're your people. Do consider the small size of a school. That can really be an overlooked niche for a lot of people, especially if you are going to offer some diversity. And that may be just that you're from Louisiana, like my daughter is, or some different place. If you're from far away from where that school is and it's small, they won't have likely people from your state, maybe, or from your area of the country. So, and you get great attention from professors there. You're around students, you get to know students who are smart, and that's one of the reasons to apply, by the way, to the best ACT range school that you can. You're going to be around other smart students. Woody Allen, I know as Groucho Marx, he's an old comedian in the black and white movie days, said, I wouldn't want to be a member of any club that would have me as a member, because he wants that selectivity. He wants to be almost not good enough for the club that admits him, because that means those are really, really good people in there, really smart people in the case of college. So you want to be applying to the ACT range schools that are just sort of above you, really, above your score. But do consider small size. Okay, anyway. Do consider those that are far away. I noted earlier, because that'll give you a leverage for offering diversity in terms of geography. They won't be getting many people from your neck of the woods. And, you can come home in the summers, of course. You come home for Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever, right? You get that winter break. You come home twice a year, that's fine. Spend all summer with the family, you'll be, itching to get out again. And yes, they've got laundry machines up there. So I've done it. I grew up in Massachusetts. I went to school in Indiana. Went home for the summers and for the holiday, the winter holiday, and that was fine. I was perfectly happy. But do make contact with those schools. Write them for information. If you haven't gotten information from them already, write them for information and tell them that you're interested. The reason you might not have gotten information from them already is maybe because you haven't taken the ACT yet or the SAT yet, some standardized test. Or just because they're not targeting your area. Lots of really good small schools in the Northwest or the Northeast. I mean, we're down here. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. We're down here in the South. They're not sending us stuff, but there's a lot of good schools up there that you might well be interested in. Okay, how to apply. You want to start early. Here it is in September, I noted, and my daughter, as I make this recording, is taking the ACT. She could take it one more time this fall. I think there's another time in October or November or something like that, October, that she could take it in. And there's probably another one in January, February. If you're a senior and you haven't taken one of those tests yet, I'm sure there's an opportunity to take it. But it gets you in the door for a lot of these places. They can look at your score and assess you quite easily. Again, you want to make contact with them. You want to tell them that you're interested. They want you to apply, okay, if nothing else, because their school looks better if they have a lot of applications. Okay, so even if they may want you to apply, but they may not want to accept you, frankly. That happens for all students. Your targets for that reason. You should prepare for the tests. For the ACT or the SAT, you should prepare for it. And that may just mean checking one of those books out from the library or buying a big old book at the bookstore, one of those big thick paperback books that prepares you for the ACT or the SAT. You can also, there's online resources as well. You could sign up for tutors online. It can cost you some money, but it can be worth it. But in general, they're just going to tell you to basically get one of those books and study real hard. I mean, it depends how serious you are about it. But some preparation helps a lot. It really makes a difference. Taking practice tests and getting used to taking the test at the very least. When you write your essay for as part of your application, every school has you write something. You want to write with a passion about what is interesting to you. Why do you want to go to college? Are you passionate about going to college? If you don't really care about going to college, if you don't really care about going to their school, they don't want you. But if you really do, they do. You don't want to write about stuff that you had to do because it was supposed to look good, like community service or something that you really didn't care about. If you did kind of community service, if you volunteered like, once a week for the past, year or something with this really cool after-school program or something like that, that you were turned on by and you really sort of bonded with those young kids there or something, yeah, you're sure you can write about that. But if it was just something to do, if it was some mission trip or something that your family signed you up for and you went for a week to Costa Rica or Mexico, well, that's, a lot of people do that. That's not really separating you from the crowd. I'm told. Don't write about that. Write about what really, turns you on. Is it some extracurricular? Is it some kind of course that you've taken, and that leads you to think that you want to study that in the future? Yeah, something like that. You want to get real letters of recommendation, people that really know you. So if there was some program that you worked with, even a job that you had, maybe that they really grew to know you and that person would be respected, maybe an office that you worked in, you could get a letter of recommendation from them. But of course, from teachers that you when you did well in their classes, you want to ask them, can they write you a strong letter of recommendation? You want to phrase it like that. Not, will you write me a letter of recommendation? Would you be able to write me a strong letter of recommendation is what you really mean. And some will say, I think you might want to go to somebody else, and that means they may have issues with you. And but there are undoubtedly teachers out there who see what you can be, and they see the positives in you, and you should approach them, try and find them. Okay, how to afford it. Again, that sticker price is not the price for people that can't afford those schools. Many of them meet your need. You demonstrate your financial need by showing the taxes that you've paid in the past, your IRS tax forms that you've submitted. They have grants that's basically free money, awards that are free money, scholarships that are free money that they will give you once they admit you and they look at your financial status. There are government student loans that are interest-free and manageable. That is, I think they're called subsidized student loans. So they subsidize the loan while you're in school, and you don't pay any interest. So if you take out $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, I don't know what it would be, but I mean, it stays at that amount while you're in college, and even graduate school or law school or med school, and that doesn't accumulate any interest until you start earning money and your education has stopped. Okay, that's it. You've been a lovely audience out there. None of you interrupted me today. I really appreciated that. You were all very quiet. And thank you for your attention. Okay.